Well, welcome to Showmance, everyone. It's the only show on the internet that deep dives shows with no depth. That's what we do best here.
I feel like that might be our tagline.
You like that one? That's okay. We keep trying them. Oh, gosh.
Well, that leads us to...
Yeah, listen, we are in Los Angeles. That's where we live. It's our home. And it's a little on fire, maybe you've heard right now. We all went back and forth on whether we should film.
Okay
it's
for now.
Friday. The fire started on Tuesday. We're kind of in the middle of it, but safe for now.
We're living with packed suitcases. Yeah. We're on the ready.
The cars are packed.
Yeah. All
I've
of my
evacuated
toiletries are in a bag, just ready to grab and go.
Found that out the hard way as I took a shower to get ready for this, and none of my stuff was in the shower. Anyways, we went back and forth on whether we should film. We do TV recaps. Last night, Southern Charm was on, and to be honest, it was a nice little break for me. I don't know about for you guys, but I've been fucking deep diving fire news for 3 days. And so we decided to film today because maybe this will be a nice break for the 12 people who watch us every week. We hope it is. For everyone out in LA that's been affected by this, it's horrible. But hopefully we'll make you giggle a little bit.
I love you, LA. Ride or die for you, girl.
Yeah, you're the best. None of us were born here. We all seem to migrate here in a way that we didn't even, well, I didn't even really kind of realize it. I was like almost like a magnetic pull. Like sort of woke up here one day and like been here now for
long time. Technically, I was born in Orange County.
That's not
And
LA.
whoever's not from Orange County is saying, that's Los Angeles. It's not Los Angeles. But if you think it is, then yeah, I was born here.
He was not
No,
born
I'm not
here,
born
just so
here.
you know.
It's south. It's in between Orange County and San Diego. There's a whole place called Orange County.
No, it's in between LA and San Diego.
What she said. that
Which
one.
means he wasn't born in LA because where
exactly.
he was born is in between LA and San Diego.
Exactly.
Anyway, Magellan is done with her
map
tour of the
questing.
maps. Let's get into a show going nowhere.
Going so nowhere. Still going nowhere.
Still going nowhere.
5
a
eps
little bit
in.
better. Little bit
A
better.
smidge.
Sally's
Only-
saving the show.
Sally-
Only because of Paige's blue dress. I
It was
feel
green,
so bad that I talked.
but
It was
that's-
baby blue.
It was a
blue.
baby green.
Baby green? What the hell is baby green?
You get a baby yellow, baby green, baby pink.
It was Tiffany Blue.
Thank you.
What?
Her baby doll dress?
Yes.
Dude, I mean, listen, that TV is a piece of shit, but...
Hold on. I did watch it on an iPad because of
And
my day
listen,
job.
I've been talking shit on her alien shoulders for a long time, but that dress.
Was the
Paige?
cutest thing ever.
Alien shoulders?
Yeah, her like triangle tops. Her and what's her face from the Housewives are doing the triangle alien outfit.
You don't even watch The Housewives.
I know, but we did the one, and that girl had the triangle outfit on, and I like that lady. She's entertaining. But
Who?
who's the one? The blonde girl, the performer girl.
Erica Jane.
That one.
The best.
She's great.
Sans outfits, but Paige's dress was popping. So I
It was
liked
so
that.
good.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Mike, I think you're right, but I swear to God, I thought it was green. Mike's right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I apologize, America. This is my official apology to Mark Connors.
Get used to that, internet.
But no, it was the cutest dress ever. She looked great.
Mark it, flag it. You'll never find it again.
See, this is why you got, so, side note, if you do YouTube long enough, you fucked up some things, some shoot days, okay? Maybe you didn't hit the audio button one time. Maybe you didn't hit the red record button one time. Maybe one time you didn't hit any buttons and you just got so happy to talk, you sat down and did it. And maybe that happened last week. But that was also a week where I was right again because I called that Paige and Craig were going to break up, and you guys were like, "You're an idiot." And then you started the episode with saying I was right.
I said you were right.
And now miraculously that episode has gone into the mysterious ether.
No, we have it, but
Yeah,
but
we're just not gonna air
the
it.
only person that has a true love for the game and speaks most eloquently is Courtney, and we had no audio for Courtney, so you would have just be listening to my conspiracy theories and Mike shitting all over everything.
The joy of the show.
Yeah, the joy
was
of the show.
Sucked out of the show.
And-
that and my fucking UPS updates.
Yeah, that too.
assholes.
That was always, the audio always
Wait,
cuts
hold
out
on, Mike.
those.
Do you have invisible tape, double-sided tape?
Well, it's not invisible if you can see it. Now is it? Jesus. Listen.
You're like the guy on ABC News.
Oh, with the binder
that,
clip. Why are we hating on that
my
guy?
God,
He's
this
just trying to
poor
look
fucking
good
guy.
for you while you watch the news, you
This
sons of
poor
bitches.
fucking guy's getting so much shit. He's out in the trenches with the fires in
Not
the
to be caught
Palisades.
on
He's
fire.
got an ABC like yellow with
Like a windbreaker or
and
something,
has
right?
like the reflector kind of thing around it. Well, when he's moving this way to show you, you could see that he had garment clipped the back of his jacket.
Sure.
This guy is just trying to adhere to the rules of, look slim and trim on camera. Don't wear an oversized thing.
I got news for the world, okay? Nobody is allowed to say anything negative about Los Angeles during these times. I don't care if it's about an anchorman's paperclip on the back of his jacket, about a political statement. No, absolutely not.
Anyway, so Southern Charm was on last night, and it was boring, except for Paige's dress. It wasn't as boring as the first 4 episodes, but it was still pretty boring.
It took a turn.
I will say this, because I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Definitely wrong about Molly. I really liked her, and I wanted her to be like popcorn in a pan and pop. She hasn't. But I did say, to my credit, I say, I'm here for Salley. And Salley is doing something at least right. She's the only person.
I keep getting the two
Salley
of
is
those.
like the Madison in training.
Yeah.
Sally's the
I'm
red
starting
dress
to like Madison now.
who doesn't wear underwear, who was
Yes.
worried that the wind was going to blow her
Yes.
dress up in her thing. That's Salley.
Yeah, Salley with an E.
Salley
Gaston's
is Salley.
ex-girlfriend.
Got
Cock
it.
socks.
So Salley,
Mine.
no
Wait, I have
undies.
something funny to tell you. And then Molly is the girl that,
Fat Molly.
but she's not.
She's not fat.
Yes.
Yeah. She's got to go.
She's already gone.
What do you mean? She was there last week.
No, I just mean like she's not even on the show. There's a scene of her making her bed. That was the scene. You're not on the show.
She came to the backyard party, and it was
And
still
I'm-
like, what? What are
Because you want to
doing?
know what it is. She's very wah.
Something happened to her. She has got no self-esteem.
No.
Yeah, you
Everything
might
is
be
just
right.
like knocking herself down.
yes.
Oh, I haven't had sex in this long, and
I've
I
had
don't
sex
even try
twice
'cause
in
of
2.5
that.
years.
And I
Wouldn't
hate
know
every-
if someone was flirting with me.
Yeah, wouldn't even know. Guess my hymen
hymen's
will
gonna grow back.
Yeah, like the whole thing is just like, girl,
leave a
what
little
happened
sparkle
to you?
in the air. Like,
Yeah.
it's either not who she is or something happened to her. Top of the episode, shitting all over Craig again. It's like I'm in some Twilight Zone where I can't tell up from down with this show. Every episode feels the same. We get it. You don't like Craig. The fact that Shep is talking about how he wants to get coffee with Taylor is the most insane. It just goes to my point that Shep just wants to be a good guy. I just want to make sure you're doing good. Oh, did you want to make sure she was doing well when you were sticking your dick in someone else? Did you want to make sure she was doing well when you shit all over her boyfriend? Said that even her grandparents wish that I was back with her? Like, stop. Just be authentic. Why, if you're so in love with Sienna and you guys are going to have your babies in Barbados or wherever she's from, and you're going to be surfing and she's going to be, Mrs. Barbados. Hold on. I know you need a timeout. I just need to say something. Like, if your relationship's so healthy, wouldn't you have discussed this with her? Like, you're just driving me crazy this season, Shepard. Absolutely nuts. What did you want to say?
They broke up.
Okay.
Who did?
Shep and
Sienna.
Okay,
can you
They're
give
on a break. They're on a break.
Can you
whatever
now
that
give
means.
me my flowers, Mike?
Listen,
Because in the
yeah,
last
yeah,
aired
yeah.
episode, I said there is a real shelf life on their
Yeah,
relationship.
for sure. I think none of us disagreed with you. I thought it was a marketing ploy by the Bahamian Miss Bahama community.
Bahamian community.
The Bahamian
What is
Tourism
it?
Board.
We got to look it up.
No, we did. It's Bahamian is for Barbados, and then Bahamian. Bahamian is
Oh, that's cool.
Bahamian.
It's not
person.
Bahamian?
Bahamian?
Listen, Caribbean.
Well, no, Bohemian. That's like Bohemian. That's probably.
Bahamian?
It seems like you're mixing up the word with like
Bohemian?
Bohemian. Like
Yeah,
Bohemian.
you might be right. It's one of those though.
Anyway.
Bahamas, Bahamian. like
Bodogs.
I've been saying this from the get. I didn't need to look it up. Seems pretty like common,
Okay, smarty
like,
pants.
street
You don't
fucking
gotta rub
knowledge
it in
to
our
me.
face.
All I'm saying is
Okay.
that I think that's funny that of all the things that we could be like debating about, like it's just Bahamian.
I think it's Bahamian.
I
Who
think
knows?
it's-
Why
All
would it
we're
be? I'm just curious. And maybe it is. I don't fucking know. But why would it be?
Because remember I used to say MAGA and everyone's like, no, it's MAGA. I feel like you're giving it like an elevated
Ooh, like Tarjay.
But Bahamas is already a word.
Bahaman, I would think it's Bahamian, like you're American.
From America.
American.
We'll look this up later.
Yeah, I think Courtney's trying to put a pinky out on a teacup on
Okay,
that
wait,
one.
hold on. What is it?
Bahamas?
Bahamian?
Bahamian. Bahamian.
Guys, I can't. What is
Listen, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're
It doesn't
on a
matter.
break.
How do you?
We all knew it was coming.
Hey,
You threw it
Siri?
out there.
How do you say? What's a person called from the Bahamas?
Dude.
I can't even
Siri
hear you,
is
Siri. She's the
useless.
worst. How do you live in a chat GPT world? Hold on. What is a person called that is from the Bahamas?
People from the Bahamas are called Bahamians. This answer is from
She's right.
Thank you. Put some respect on my name.
Okay, but like that,
Bahamian.
like I don't know how you came up with that though, because
Pronunciation it's kind of my thing. It's intuitive, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so,
Bahamian.
okay.
When someone says something like emaciated, I'm like, it's emaciated.
Who says emaciated?
I've heard people say emaciated.
Punch them in the tank.
People also say etc. and espresso.
It is
No,
espresso.
espresso.
No, that's why I said espresso.
Oh.
I think you actually said it correctly.
Oh, well, 'cause I'm so
Meaning
trained.
to say it.
Salmon, no. Library, no.
Supposedly.
No. There's so many
People always correct me when I say Valentine's Day.
because it's Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's, love times. The time of love. That's what it should be.
Anyway, he broke up with his Bahamian girlfriend.
He did.
And we all knew this was going to happen.
Listen,
Wait, there was
did
something.
he?
But it didn't happen. Like you guys,
whatever,
like,
they're broken
that
up.
did not happen in this episode. We just know
Yeah, that
that
happened on
because
Twitter.
we just know because we
Instagram.
read page
Correct.
6 and watch what happens live, and they all talk shit about each other because this show, everyone, all the best friends, their favorite thing to do seems to be to completely emaciate.
Emaciated.
It's not even the right word though.
No. Eviscerate.
Eviscerate.
But wait, can we just talk about the fact?
Dude, inappropriate.
Minnie.
What's I
Calm
can't.
She's
down.
really going for it.
Jesus.
Cleaning? It happens.
Sure.
Really
Sorry,
going
guys. I have low blood sugar. I always
You
have to
call it
eat, and I've
cleaning.
tried to hide it, but I just have to be me. And I'm also so stressed.
Do you?
Wait, could I just say this also, though?
TBD. I don't know what
Okay.
you're going to say.
The fact that Shep just verbally eviscerates, there you go now,
There it is.
Craig every episode, and then they go and meet up, and he's like, hey, man, I got this. I was thinking about you. Like, so fucking two-faced.
But like you said, Shep thinks that he's being helpful. Like Shep isn't being mean.
No, Shep
I
is supposed to
think
be the good guy.
Right. So he thinks he's being a good guy by talking all this shit. He thinks he's seen a problem in Craig, and he's telling his buddy like, "Hey, buddy, this is happening." He thinks he's a good guy. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong.
Nat, you have the floor because I'm going to agree with
The
you.
conch. Do we need a
I don't-
conch?
It's the same as what he's been doing all this time. He's so transparent. He doesn't want to be the good guy. He wants you to think he's the good
Yes!
guy.
Thank you.
He's obsessed with
With
you.
how he's coming
But
across.
regardless,
Yes,
that
thank
proves
you.
the point even more why he would be nice to your face and buy you rubber shoes. Because he wants you to
Buy
think
you rubber shoes. Is that
he got Craig rubber shoes to garden
I
in.
do think it's funny he called them gardening shoes, and
He did say,
like
he
galoshes.
said
Yeah.
for gardening. He was like, no, they're not gardening shoes, but you can use them for gardening because you can hose them off, which I was like, oh, that's a pretty thoughtful gift.
after you've just talked
I bet
Mad
you
smack
could.
9
about him.
days straight, the absolute worst shit about someone.
He's talking, okay, first of all, he's talking all this shit on camera, right?
Yeah.
So,
So,
like,
it's like,
again,
hello, are
right.
you there? Like, you know that we're going to see all this, right? And also,
Yeah, the
have you
shoes
never-
aren't going to be a panacea for everything that
Yeah.
you've done.
Right, but you guys are saying that he wants to be a helpful guy and liked guy.
No, he wants you
You
to
think.
think he's the good guy. Like, no, I'm getting coffee with Taylor for her 30th birthday. Don't worry that I cheated on her multiple times, that we were in a relationship and I went on a vacation and went back on an exclusive dating app so I could get my dick wet while my 20-something-year-old girlfriend is in Charleston thinking I've got this knight in shining armor that loves me and is being loyal and faithful. Forget about that. I'm going to have coffee with her because I'm a good guy. Here are your galoshes, Craig, because I'm a good guy.
After literally every episode this entire season has just been a shit fest on Craig with Austin. They meet up all over town. And we talked about this last week. It didn't air. How many locations can you shoot at to talk about what a disappointing friend Craig is? And then by the end of it, Shep is acting like, oh, these two guys are having problems. I'm gonna act as
gonna
the
be the
middleman.
mediator.
These two guys are having. You've been with Austin this whole time, shitting on this guy, and now you're gonna mediate the two of them. It's not these two. It's you two against Craig. And now you're gonna help us out. How do you not like Austin? He just wants his buddy back. That happens to be my stance too. And we love Austin for that, right? How can you not? It's kind of lovely. It's kind of like in days of Shakespeare. He used a Shakespeare analogy for something else in there. But like,
that to me, even when you saying it, it made more sense in my brain now than it did even watching it.
That's how a devil's advocate works.
No. Listen. Oh, you're going to feel silly. Cut that part out. What made sense in my head, that seems more like a produced story than a real story. I'm going all in on there is nothing going on in these people's lives, and these producers are scrambling. And so they took a little piece of a story, and they're like, it's this or it's nothing. We don't have Catherine. We don't have the psycho, maybe call girl from Santa Barbara. We got nothing, right? We've got nothing that this show is built off. Everyone's doing their thing. These two are still idiots. The girls are gone. The idiot is now a fucking Martha Stewart. Like, what are we doing? We got nothing.
This is the upside down, as Bethany would say.
Exactly. So I think these producers are grasping at straws and just being like, listen, you guys got to shit on Craig. We can't shit on Craig the whole time. Look at the comments. Everyone hates us. Look at Showmance. They're railing on us. Probably not. But if you are, I think they're just trying
Absolutely
to
not,
figure it out, man. I don't think any of this is really real. I don't think Shep is really fucking mad at Craig. The Austin and Craig thing might be a little real because of the whole podcast thing that they didn't record. But I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Okay, one thing that
Do they do the show together anymore?
hang on.
Their podcast?
Yeah.
Like, not physically.
Oh no, but they record it together still.
But he said that yesterday. He's like, I did it by myself.
No, I meant like today, like in the month of January when they record their podcast. Are they doing it together, or is Craig doing the show solo?
That I don't know.
Okay.
They also removed the part that, Shep tried to get me kicked out of BravoCon. And he was almost successful. I had to get my agent involved. He convinced a network exec that I was hammered drunk when I was actually sober, and he tried to get me sent home. So Shep's done a lot of like really horrible stuff when he's like that messed up, and I don't owe him anything. Like I'm not going to associate myself with someone that's trying to actively tear me down and throw their life away at the moment. So I'm really happy for him that he wants to change. But yeah, I mean, I'm a grown adult living my own life. And I hope he earns that friendship back.
I had seen clips of this, but like, I can't believe that I never saw that clip. He tried to get him kicked out of BravoCon based on a complete lie, and like his reps had to get involved. Like that's crazy.
Crazy. But wait, when is that interview from?
This is from like a month ago.
And Shep did say he was blacked out from, alcohol the entire weekend. So I would believe what Craig is saying.
Yeah, because
Shep probably doesn't even remember.
But like that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
He was blackout drunk, but like knew who to call, who to talk to, what story to come up with. That was.
But haven't you ever been
like,
around a belligerent drunk person that is just hell bent on fixating on?
But how would anybody take him seriously if he was that blackout drunk? Like, why would it would seem to me like if he was going to tell someone, they would go, okay, buddy, I'll get right on this.
He might be
like,
he
that's
might just
evil.
be one of those people who, like, when they're, he could have like real addiction issues. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that something is off with his relationship with alcohol because he's said it, right? We don't have to crack that nut open. He's already offered that piece of information up. So he could just be one of those people that when they are under the influence, like, you don't realize how unbelievably hammered they are.
Yeah.
So anyway, don't you remember I'll remind you. Don't you remember last season when Shep and Taylor broke up And he went over to her during the reunion and he was like, I just want to let you know you're doing a really good job.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Last year. And the reason I bring that up is because that is classic Shep. Gotta be the good guy. This girl's getting railed on, but I'm going to go over and say, just so you know, you're doing great and stand strong. Even though I was the worst boyfriend to you and I cheated on you and I yelled at you and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if the storyline is true or not. His behavior is true to who he is. And that's what we're saying. He's so transparent to me. He's talking smack about Craig and then kissing his ass, buying him the boots, wanting to get everyone back together and, blow his peace pipe and sing Kumbaya with everyone. Okay. And then he's talking about how we got to be friends and we got to keep the group together. And then in the next breath, he's saying, but nothing lasts forever. And who cares? Because he can't ever truly be vulnerable with people. He can't ever. That's why he's got to talk shit about people. That's why he's got to cheat on his girlfriend. That's why he's got to somehow screw things up so that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because it's the thing in Almost Famous. If you never really love someone, then you'll never get hurt. And if you never get hurt,
You'll always have fun.
Whenever you get lonely, you can go to the record store and visit your friends. But they were all wayward people that were blowing with the wind, doing drugs everywhere. A great story, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the movie, everyone has to go home from the circus. Like, it's not a real way to live your life. It's not sustainable. And so my point is, that's Shep. He doesn't. He's trying. Am I making sense to you? Do you get what I'm saying?
1,000,000%.
It's like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth.
It's sustainable because it has money and he's Shep and he's established and he's never going to leave his pond.
But it's not, because you'll never be in a long-term healthy relationship if you can't get vulnerable. That's not sustainable.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know if Shep's
back to what I
destined
said.
for
Yeah,
that.
like
He
what I
might just
said
be that guy
before.
that's wearing the fucking stupid colored sunglasses with some dumb outfit out at his buddy's having a concert down the way.
Yeah,
and
dude.
his
But I think
guy's
he
gotta
wants
pop
everyone
over here
to
and
think that that's who he is.
what the beachy
That
guy
he's a
that's
good
a
guy
whatever.
who's
Yeah.
wants a long-term relationship now.
Yeah.
Wants these friendships, but then he's talking shit, then he's trying to make up, and then in the next breath he's like, but nothing lasts forever. And
I think Shep wants to be a character in an American novel. He wants to be Gatsby. What was his name? First name?
F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby.
What was the Gatsby's first name?
Great.
That's funny. Anyways, Mr. Gatsby.
I'll never forget one time on the best reality TV show of all time, Jersey Shore. They were asking Snooki and Gianni who wrote The Great Gatsby, and they said, and Snooki goes, Tobey Maguire?
And he's not.
Party's here.
He's him. He's the personification of Gatsby in a floral Tommy Bahama. That's who
Owen
he
Wilson.
wants to be. He's Owen Wilson, dude. And he doesn't want a long-term relationship. He doesn't have kids. He wants to just live a life that people write about. And he's doing that. And it's very sustainable for him. And he'll die one day a happy man with just as much regret and sadness as the rest of us. I think
I am not dying with regret and sadness. Mike and I couldn't be more different if we tried. This is why when we tried to do the show on our own, it was a dumpster fire.
Oh, it was because it was right after Scandival, and I just went from these people are fun to watch to I fucking hate all of you.
And Mike said, I hate all of this.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
we were
why are we recording
trying
this?
to do a show about Vanderpump, and I was like, I don't know if this might. Actually, you were the one that was like, I don't think this is going to work if you hate everyone. So whatever.
By the way, I wasn't wrong.
What's funny is
definitely
that Mike, I feel like to this day, that's one of those days that Mike didn't really realize what was happening. It's not you. That's not
Listen,
really.
there's other things going on that day.
I think he just thought, I thought we were in the trust tree, the tree of trust.
The circle of trust.
Yeah, whatever that line is in Old School, where he's with his wife in counseling.
We were out at the Olive Garden for dinner. I happened to look over at a certain point during the meal and see a waitress, and I found myself wondering what color her underpants might be. Maybe they're silk panties, maybe it's a thong. What? What, I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest, are we not?
Are we
I
not?
didn't remember that scene. That's amazing.
It's so good. And I feel like Mike didn't realize that like that day, like we were
in the
like
tree of
here
trust.
in like he can just tell you what he really thinks about these shows and whatever, but like that doesn't mean it's going to affect his performance on game day. But we were chemistry testing a show is pretty much what we were doing that day. We spent about 7 hours here going through.
Listen,
Mike's
we
giant
also-
dump on me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all
No.
I did was just piss on everything that we hold near and dear. And then you were like, "This doesn't seem like it's gonna
Yes.
work." And he was
Here's
just like,
what
"What do you
happened.
mean?"
We meant to do that, and these two idiots spent the first 45 minutes having the most amazing conversation about. I don't even remember what was it
was
about.
like about the writer's strike or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was about the
not,
writer's strike was
like,
happening.
Anything
But
riveting.
it was the most like perfect podcast conversation, and I was like, "There's our podcast," and they were like, "Yeah, no." Well, you were like, "Yeah, no." Courtney's always down.
Thank you.
Most people. I'm gonna tell you something.
That's
If
wait,
you see
that's how
someone
you
on a
knew how
camera,
bad it was.
they came here to be on a camera. Never once. Not even did I not ever want to be on camera. I fucking ran from a camera. So like it wasn't just like a meh. It was a no, that's not what I'm here to do.
It was a hard no.
Yeah, like hard
Listen,
no.
was not what I'm here to do either. But sometimes your plans change.
Yeah, but you now like it.
I do
I
like
still am like, I have to edit myself. If you really want to know you're not supposed to be doing something, put it on video and then try to cut it into something that makes any sense. Our
Anyway.
shows are like 3 hours long and you get an hour of it. Imagine how many times I tried to say a sentence that like didn't
It's just
come
wild.
out.
It's not that. It's because we ramble and go down side streets like this one.
Are you the editor or am I the
Anyways.
editor? Because I have to live with my truth on that.
Yeah, but I
fucking
live with you
stool
all
over
the
there.
time, and you're so eloquent, constantly. It's not true.
You
But
can say many
listen,
things about me. That is
Shep
not one of
is a Peter Pan wannabe.
He's driving me
and-
up a wall. We got to move off of Shep because I'm gonna drink Drano.
Okay, I'll tell you what I want.
Please,
I want a spinoff.
with Madison and Paige.
Nope.
Okay.
I would watch that a little bit, but
A lot
not
of it.
Madison and Paige. Who are the two fellas? The two dudes?
Oh, yeah, the
husbands?
gay couple.
Rod
Yeah,
and Tyler.
Rod and Tyler.
I love them.
Is Tyler Rod's the main one, right?
I hope they're figuring this out.
Tyler's the other one?
Yeah.
Dude, Tyler, superstar at that barbecue. Just scene stealer, in my opinion. He was so funny. And I've always liked Rod. I'm like, this guy seems like somebody I would like to watch.
When they were talking about the landscaping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
He's always got good advice. He seems like a level head and a smart dude. Again, sometimes these reality people annoy the shit out of me. I have a tendency to find the people that I'm like, you're not supposed to be on a show like this. And those are the people that I like.
Yeah.
Rod that's Rod to me. But his boyfriend or husband, are they married? Or
Married,
they just
Tyler.
They're married?
Yeah.
That dude is funny as shit. And I could watch those two dudes all day long.
I know, and they're
having a
wasting
show.
them on being Taylor's good friends right now. But I feel like this episode, listen, I don't want to get over my skis, but like I feel like this episode might be a turning point
I
for
agree
this
with you.
whole group.
I think it's going to be a turning point. I just have to say something that highlights something Natalie said last week, and I literally went, oh my God. I had an audible, excited moment when Taylor and her mom were meeting up for her lunch. And first of all, Taylor's only 30. I had no idea. I thought she was in her 30s. I did not realize she was that young.
How
and not
old is she?
because 30.
30.
Oh, that's what, like
That's
her birthday
was
is
her
like
30th
This was her
birthday.
big
now?
3-0.
Okay.
Her mom called her. She goes, I just wanted to say baby doll. Or what would you? And she called her baby doll. And I was like, oh
I
my
think
God,
she called
baby
her
doll.
baby girl.
Or baby girl. That was it.
Which
Sorry,
is
I
like,
wrote it down.
I'm
That's
pretty
what you
sure-
said. Baby girl and cocksock.
Baby girl and cocksocks.
Nat, you nailed it so hard, man. I was so proud of you. My exact note, OMG, her mom just called her baby girl. LOL, cocksock.
It's coming.
But-
Cocksock. If baby girl made it, cocksocks is right
So
around
you,
the corner.
You might be onto
As-
something that this is the turning point, is all I'm saying.
As two ladies who both have moms that have you both had brunches with your moms. Have you ever gone to brunch with your moms with that much titties out? That's a lot of
That's-
titties.
I didn't even clock the T.
Oh, what?
Yeah, me neither.
No, I mean, I read it online. I didn't. I saw those titties.
God,
Listen, I'm
stop.
sorry, breasts. What are you supposed to say? Like, just there's a
Cleavage.
little
She had
cleavage.
lot of cleavage
on. But
going
in
on for
Charleston,
mom.
you're trying to nail that husband down. You
But
gotta
with mom?
like your mom clearly passed him down to you. Like I think you want to show your mom I'm doing what I can with what you've bestowed.
Yeah, fine. It just seems a bit.
I didn't even know. It
inappropriate.
didn't even register.
Well, you don't like boobies, so
I don't not like them. I appreciate a great rack.
yeah, but you don't love boobies.
I love my own.
Anywho, I thought that was a little weird. But also, it's a little sad, like so sad. I was like, and then they got into the thing, and she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And she's like, "For everyone to leave me alone." And I was like, "Ouch, that's
Sad.
I've had that birthday before, and that's a bummer, man."
I think it's very strange that we don't know why she canceled her 30th birthday
No, we do.
party.
I think she was gonna have a party. I think she was just like, "No, I don't want to anymore. I don't want to be around anybody.
Madison
My
called the whole
brother's
thing
not
out.
here. It's the first what."
What did Madison,
Madison
say?
called the whole thing out. She's like, Rod, you got to give me the details. What happened? Why didn't she have this party? And he said she doesn't want to deal with the things that Salley is saying about Gaston and like that relationship. Like Paige would never in a million
Never.
years do this. It would be nothing to her. It wouldn't even exist to her because that's just what confidence is.
Yes, but this is my point, and I said this last week, that it's why it annoyed me so much when he didn't show up to the party to have her back, because if you had a partner that was worth their weight in salt, this wouldn't be stressing you out because they would be showing up with you being like, listen.
Babe, it's your 30th birthday.
It's your
Of
30th
course
birthday.
we're having it.
I want you to enjoy yourself, and I'm there to back you and tell everybody, this is my chick now. I love her deeply, and let's celebrate her tonight. But because you know he's not going to have your back because he historically thus far has not, you're then acquiescing to his frail ego.
Yeah.
And saying, I'll just cancel my party if that's what happened. And I do think that you're right. I think it's probably a
But
combination.
it's not even me being right. Madison says it. That's her last thing is she says, this seems more like Gaston canceled the party. And just like the way she says it and looks at him, like I don't think that he like confirms that was it, but like I think she's onto something.
Or
like,
he was like, babe, you don't have to cancel the party. I'm just not going. And
Yeah.
then it's like, it's my 30th birthday. And the guy that I'm saying is the love of my life that I want to have kids with and we're going to get married isn't here. Like, then I now have to look at the fact that my relationship is a house of cards.
Like these two women could not deal with life and relationships in a more 180 degree different way.
Yeah.
And just look at the lives that each one of them are living. My darling, why would you ever want your life when you can see like what you can have if you just have an ounce of self-respect and like a world outlook that includes one more thing aside from like who you're gonna let put a child in you?
Yeah.
And not that that isn't a thing to take very seriously, but like it's why you're dating a guy like Cocksocks.
Yes.
Because of the way
Because
that you're
you
looking
don't
at this whole
realize
thing.
I am the prize.
Yes.
I am the prize. And I'm not saying that that's a female thing. Everyone should think, no, I am an amazing person and I am a great partner and I'm kind and I'm if you are this person, if you're an asshole, I don't know what to tell you, but like I should be with a great person who respects me and cherishes me because I am the motherfucking prize. She's just like, oh, I'm bargain bin. You'll take me? Thanks. And that breaks my heart for her.
It does, but it's one thing when you do things that it just affects what comes at you. But when she gets to when they're at that party and Salley says, "Oh, she called me a hooker, a high-priced hooker," well, because I dated this guy before she did. But then she also did have a one-night stand with Shep at some point, not when they were together. After
There's no overlap.
Yeah, no
nothing like
overlap.
that.
And then for Paige to say, "Oh, she called me that too." She's like, "Well, she didn't call me that, but more or less, like she told Craig that."
And what about your girl
Paige-
cheating on you?
And then I also thought back to when, after Shep leaves her, she hooks up with Austin. They lie about it. That was like half the season last year. It
was the entire season.
Yeah.
The whole season.
Yeah, Shep fucked you, but Austin didn't. And now they've got a weird relationship, or did for a minute. I think they've both totally gotten over it because they're both that shallow. I think it didn't really affect them like it would.
Nothing will bring
normal
you together
guys.
faster than the mutual
Yeah.
hatred of someone else.
Yeah. And then I also remember she did it to Olivia because Olivia was her best friend. We talked about this last week as well, something I had forgotten about, that she totally, like, that was her best friend at the time. They were in it together all the time.
Yeah.
And then both of them were going through this heartbreak at the same time. And then little do you know that when you get off the phone with her, she's just driving over to your ex-boyfriend's house and making out with him and God knows what. On top of that, Do you remember when she was sending Whitney naked photos of herself? I'd forgotten about that too. Like, Taylor, you are not like, what do you want out of life? Like, you are making every single one of the worst decisions ever, and then forgetting that you made all those decisions and showing up the next day at the next event and calling everyone whores and calling everyone
that's
out
exactly
for being
right.
cheaters.
You can hook up with who you want to. You can send nudes to whoever you want to.
Exactly.
But then you need to slow your roll a little bit if you're going to be accusing other people of cheating, of being whores or whatever the hell.
And then going behind your friends' backs and making out with like the guys that they just broke up with when you're equally as devastated over something. Like,
I feel like she acts very impulsively.
Yeah.
And that's where the decision making is coming from.
Yeah. And it all comes down to when she doesn't feel like she's getting what she wants from a man.
Exactly. Because
like,
that's where
is
she's
just
getting her self-worth from.
Yeah.
Which is
exactly.
a bummer.
No, it's a huge bummer. But like, watch the seasons back. You were in a pattern. You said something last week. You said something like, she's in this loop. She can't get out of this loop. She's stuck on a loop. And like that's,
she is.
And it's ruining everything. And you're going to get nowhere. And you're going to end up with some guy like Coxsocks if you're fucking lucky at this point.
Oh, that's got a shelf life also. I really feel.
Yeah.
Now I can't watch any of these episodes without seeing what Mike was seeing from Jump, where he's just like, Paige and Craig are going to break up. They're very sweet to one another. There's no bickering, or you wouldn't look at them and say, oh, there's outwardly, right? Like there's problems there. But now in hindsight, when I'm watching it, I just keep thinking, I don't know if she's 100 invested with him.
Dude,
I think she loved
that's
him
in my
deeply.
whole diatribe of like,
well, there's nothing left of the episode if you want to get into it, right? Because it's just like we get the stuff with Salley and Gaston and all that stuff. But I just feel like the rest of the episode just felt like a peek into what we weren't seeing because we were just so happy for them. I don't know. That's just my...
No. I agree. Venita, what'd you take from her?
I love Venita. Is she even on the show anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I feel like you're insulting our intelligence. Either get storylines and an actual, they literally she broke up with someone she thought she was going to marry, and they did it in a 30-second soundbite. That's how not part of the storyline she is.
I didn't even remember she was with that guy.
I don't remember him being a love of Broadway and like, what? Venita. Come on.
I love Broadway. Back it up.
You're not a dude.
Yeah, I love dudes on Broadway also.
No, I mean, like, I like Broadway too, but I don't mind. I'm kind of being a dick of like, this guy might be into dudes, and that's fine, but like, Venita,
you
fucking
only
hell.
think Broadway is musicals. Broadway can be plays.
Gay stuff? Come on.
You said plays and he said gays.
Like, there's not, listen, there's way more straight dancers, men dancers, than you'll ever imagine in your life. I worked on a lot of dancing shows and know a lot of dancers. Broadway dancers, Broadway performers, there's not a lot of straight dudes in Broadway.
Listen, I went to an acting conservatory, okay? A lot of the guys that showed up there were like, I have a promise ring with my girlfriend. I love her so much. And then by Christmas break, they were blowing some dude in the bathroom. Okay. So I get the,
Dude,
a lot of
it
promise
happened on
rings.
So You Think You Can Dance all the time.
Right, I get it. Everyone's sexually exploring. People are coming out. I'm thrilled for them. I'm just saying, just because he wanted to be in the theater on Broadway does not mean that he is gay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway, they're irrelevant to the fucking storyline.
They are, but I feel like that story, I think, is setting us up to get into JT is going to start dating her, I think, or like...
So JT's here all season.
And
right?
I
That's
miss
what's happening.
JT at this point. Like, I will take some JT drama over whatever the shenanigans are. Like,
Really?
what are we
I
comparing
mean,
it
listen,
to?
all this thing about Fat Amy or whatever her name is,
Molly.
and
what's Fat
Venita.
Amy from?
Fat Amy's from Pitch Perfect. What's your name?
Oh, yeah,
Fat
Fat
Amy.
Amy.
You call yourself Fat Amy? Yeah, so twig bitches like you don't do it. Twig bitches. That's
never
the
seen
best.
It's so good.
You've never seen Pitch Perfect?
No.
Oh my God, it's
Dude,
one of the
what's
greatest.
happening?
I mean, it's
We're
like it's
watching
like
it
at the
when
Mean
we're
Girls
done here. We're
caliber.
not
Did you
leaving.
like Mean Girls?
Cute. Yeah, super cute.
Then I think you'll like.
Pitch
I didn't.
Perfect.
I'm not like obsessed with Mean Girls, but I think it's a great
Pitch Perfect
movie.
is 1,000 times better
Oh
than
yeah,
Mean
no,
Girls.
because they actually sing and
yeah,
they actually
Pitch
like
Perfect
perform.
is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I just meant like if you can watch like a movie that's about like like high school kids or college kids and like still be entertained. Then you'll
Oh,
like
totally.
it.
No, it's.
No, this movie is so legit.
I had never seen what's that movie? Elle Woods.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
That's good.
And my dad had said something to me, and he's like, "Wait, you've never seen it?" And I'm like, "No." And I watched it, and again, I know everybody loves it. It's just not personally for me. And he's like, "I saw that, and I thought that my Corky will love this movie." And I was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm breaking my dad's heart that I'm not in love with this movie." Sorry, I've always felt real guilt about that.
No, I think I have a voicemail from my dad telling me to like watch Sarah Silverman because we were like the same person, and I'm like, I love Sarah Silverman, but like very different.
Totally.
People, like, but I feel like he left me like 3 messages about. I'm just checking to see if you watched that Sarah Silverman special, and I'm like,
I know, and it just makes you want to
Yeah.
love it so badly because your dad connected you to it or what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Also, one more thing about Venita. I can't remember where I read this or where I heard this, so I don't want it to preach it like it's Bible. But like, I think she lives 6 months of the year in New York. I don't think she lives in Charleston full time. And so
Let's go to the gram.
to like say that like, oh, he's gone and left and whatever, like it really just seems like they're just trying to make space for her to date a guy on the show, which
Well, what she said was, I'm not part of the plan, which is why I said what I just said.
yeah.
Yeah, Venita. George is part of the plan. I hate to break it to you, dude.
Who's George?
No, just
When-
like just a guy, like that's just like a generic guy's name that like
God.
you
It's
don't,
usually
you don't know
Alex
how
from
long
our
he's going to be
department.
gone, but George knows how long he's going to be home.
I got it. Got it.
The thing is that, like, if no one's getting storylines, throw these other idiots in there with no storylines.
That's why I think that this might.
You know what's weird is that they don't have anyone defending Craig, except Madison a little, but no one's like going full on. Got Craig's back, you know, like that would be a good storyline,
Agreed.
you know.
No, I definitely agree, but I think that the point of this, I think that they are picking on Craig for a reason, whether it's like he's sort of like maybe the producers feel the same way about him as Shep and Austin do, that like he's
You're
never
sick of him,
around.
he's
We
annoying.
can't we can't just get him, like he won't just do things that we tell him to do anymore. Like he might be a lot more involved in like what's the narrative,
How am I
what's my
coming across,
trajectory,
or-
how am I coming across. That's one thing I think that might actually end up bringing Shep and what's her name back together at some point, because if Shep has a team at all and he has any interest in like when his popularity was at its peak or whatever, I assume that he was the best version of himself when he was with Taylor. I found him to be the most likable, except obviously towards the end when he started being an asshole, then that sucked. That was his most normal year. I think that was maybe the year that you told us to start watching it.
Yes,
and
it
you
was.
were kind of telling me about like the ride everybody had been on, and
Yep.
you're like, and then we get to Shep, and it's like it's so great. He's had this long road of like, is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? And then he didn't, and now he's got it, and we're all so happy. Like I didn't know who Shep was, and you were just telling me about these characters. I think that was the season because
It
he was
was, I
like in a
remember that.
relationship.
Yep.
How have we been doing this for 3 hours?
Things happen.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Wait, I need to hear Nat's thoughts on Craig and Paige, but I also need to tell you, you know how sometimes you'll be on a plane, right? Going somewhere. When you get off the plane and there's no text messages when you land. And you're like, well, all the cell phone towers must be done. They must, right? Because not one person has texted me in the last 3 hours. And I honestly feel like the cell phone towers are down because I have not gotten a text, a call, an order, an email, nothing since I've been sitting here.
Like I'm getting more texts than I've ever gotten because of my whole family. Everybody that I even said hi to once in my life is like checking in on every social media and which has been great. Thank you so much.
Yes, no, it's so sweet, everyone
lovely to like
checking in.
connect with so many like friends I grew up with.
When we had to evacuate, I'm not kidding you. I have never it was like I won an Oscar, but the reverse because it was horrible. My phone would not stop ringing off the hook because people wanted to make sure I saw the
Yeah,
news. Thank
because,
God.
Like, yeah, because that was before I had the alert thing on.
Yeah.
Like, I just happened to be like, Brendan sent me a video of the window, and I was like, what the fuck is that? That's Runyon Canyon? Like, that whole thing's on fucking fire. What? Like, it was nothing 5 minutes ago. And then I just like randomly kind of snap out of it and realize that Mike is loading all the camera gears into travel bags.
You go into this weird tunnel vision where it's so I wish shit on no one. And
oh my
we're
God,
the
my rent control department's finally gonna go away. I guess somebody had to take it from me, pull it from my cold dead hands.
and think about like we're the fortunate ones. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine how traumatized?
No, that's what I'm saying is that like I felt that, and we weren't even under evacuation. I just saw it from a window and thought that's gonna be here in like 2 minutes, and then miraculously they put it out. But that's not how anyone else's story has gone. Anyone's.
Yeah. And these firefighters and first responders are fucking heroes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thoughts on CMP?
I watched Craig's, just like he finally gets on and says his piece. I sent you that the other that was super sad.
Great hair.
He looks great.
And
Great hair.
super
really
handsome.
great hair. Yeah.
Some of
Great
the best
skin
hair.
too.
I do sometimes think like right after you get broken up with, you do look really good because Dorit looks incredible this season.
Oh yeah. I just don't know if Dorit's been crying herself. Like I feel like this was a breakup that whether he didn't see it coming or not, because we can all in retrospect later be like, that was totally written all over the walls, you know?
Yeah.
But he said in that video, this was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
And I believe that he believes
I believe
that
that
right
too.
now,
Yeah.
you know? So I watched a clip on TikTok that showed just something that Paige had said in this most recent Giggly Squad. And so I was talking to you and I said, I feel like people might be getting a little pissed at her because she's acting pretty callous about this. I come to find later what I had seen, it was like kind of just clipped out where it like was very like callous if you watch it in that order and
But it's not how she
and out of
actually-
context, but it wasn't. And Paige does have kind of a fucking
She has an acerbic
middle
way of
fingers
speaking.
up. Like that's the way that I think that she is. I think that's just her personality.
She's from New York.
She's from New
Yorker.
Jersey.
Wait,
She's Sicilian.
wait, she's not. She's from New Jersey.
I thought she was from Jersey too.
Yeah,
But
her
regardless,
parents
I
are
mean,
there.
New York, New Jersey, she's from the Northeast and has that more acerbic, biting, like.
Yeah. One thing in the episode that she says is that her mom had told her, she said there was a handful of times I think she would, every few years, she would remind her of it again. And she would say, you need to walk this earth like a man. There's a lot of things that you're not going to get.
She
being
said
a
this is a
woman, so
man's world.
You need to walk. Yeah. And I think maybe Paige says, so I've been walking through this earth like a man. So I think that's how she was raised. I think that's who she is. And I think that's her family. I think that's being Italian. I think that's being from New Jersey. All the things.
I always say, like, one of the best things about people from New Jersey is we say fuck you to your face.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say something behind your back. I'll just tell you, no, I just don't really like you. And that's okay. We don't have to like each
Yeah.
other, but that can come off very harsh. Like, I remember when I first moved out here, someone had pulled me aside and they were like, you can't speak to people that way. And I'm like, what way?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I went to New York I work in TV, so we travel all the time. 5 times, and was like this worst place in the whole fucking planet. And I've been a ton of places, and I love the city. I love architecture. Skyworks great. Like I thought I would love New York instantly. I had that about Chicago. New York, hated it. The 6th or 7th time I went to New York, I was there for like 10 days or 2 weeks, something like that. I brought my skateboard. I skated all like to work and back all through the city, which was amazing, and got in a fight with a dude at a gas station who tried to cut in line in front of me. Like what are
Verbally
you fucking
aggressive,
doing,
yeah.
bro? Oh, I'm just trying. And like, it was so freeing to say, no, you're not going to cut in front of the 3 of us in line. You're going to get to the fucking back of the line and wait just like everybody else, and have him be like, oh, fine. Like, and he did. We had words. He said, yep. He went to the back, waited. And I left that little liquor store and I was like, I fucking love it here. And I went back. I remember telling Jeremy, my friend Jeremy Gelbaum, I was like, bro,
I love New
in.
York.
This place is so amazing. And I went on this whole thing about how like it's just honest and you can say what you want and nobody's gonna get offended and you can just speak your truth. And like, this is amazing. People are amazing here. They're not mean, they're just honest. And that is great. And Jeremy listened to the whole thing. He's like, I fucking hate it here. I want to go home where people lie to your face and tell you you're amazing. And
I'm with you, Jeremy.
It's Los Angeles.
I still have that streak in me of like, no, absolutely not. I don't like that at all. You look terrible in that.
Yeah.
So I'm just proud to have retained that is all I'm saying. So anyway, okay.
No,
I
yeah.
think you look great in that, by the way.
Oh no, I'm not. I told her I already like that t-shirt. So that lie's not going to work.
It's casual day. There's fires happening. I said there's no boobs and there's no collars and there's no silk on fire day. You gotta just lay low. It's respect.
The firefighters would probably appreciate a little me.
Okay.
Oh God.
Anyway, a lot of people are giving Paige a lot of shit, and it's been interesting to me to see that like we've all said, not really you so much, us, that Paige has made us see Craig differently.
For the record, I never disagreed with that. Like, I agree that Paige makes Craig look better. When we talked about that originally, I said that when we went to that rap party, that I used to work with a producer who maybe didn't like me that much, and she met you, and she was like, "Oh, I don't mind him now. It humanizes him." So like, I understand that, and I totally get that.
But so she's been that way though, like not in just like relationships, but what she says, what she has to say about the world, what she has to say about fashion, what she has to say about her time at Starbucks this morning, like whatever it is, I'm always right there with her. So I never really saw that this was happened to her. But of course, if you thought about it for more than 2 seconds, of course, like the women just always kind of get I'm not that person that I'm just like, women have it so horrible. But like, there's like women going after her online that are just like, they see Craig to be this like handsome, smart, loyal, funny, Colgate smile, hardworking, home-owning American, like all those things. Yes, you are all those things, but they don't want you just to recognize that, Paige. They want you to reward that. And there's just something that's crazy to me that like this person who has been the voice of reason about everything, suddenly everyone's like decided that she must not be reasoning very well. Like
interesting.
Yeah, it's just so, if you've been a woman, listen, for 30 minutes on this earth, like you know that like this like brand of guy is not like an overstocked falling off the shelves, you know, at the store. Like he is a fucking catch.
Totally.
You know, he totally is. But this whole time, we have watched it. So I imagine how many conversations they must have had off camera. If we've seen the amount of conversations they've had about what their future might hold together and seen her physically upset about her uncertainty of like what the timeline looks like and the pressure that she's under and what she's feeling and how she doesn't want to drag him along, but she's really loves him. Of course, if she were to do it tomorrow, it would be with him. But like, she doesn't know, and she's really nervous about it. She doesn't want to move to Charleston,
out of New York,
or if she always just assumed she'd be back in New Jersey. If she left and moved to Charleston, she would miss her family so much. I think she's got a very tight-knit family. I think she's very attached to her home life there. And then New York's not that far away, so it's like she gets to live her dream, but still like have this like, which we would all fucking love, you know, like to be able to have. Well,
it's very dude-like to live in New York and have your side piece down in Charleston.
That's true. And Craig also has been very vocal about what his timeline is. I feel like he might have gone as far to say that he would feel some resentment if he was older than 40 and still didn't have a kid, because that meant that he was going to be 45 when this happened and 50. Like, both of these people have been so verbal about all of this. They've never shied away from it. Craig took a chance on Paige. And we were all like, great, take that chance, even though you are risking that you're not going to get what you inevitably want. But we said, take it. She's fucking amazing. She's fantastic. She's so worth you taking this risk. Well, now we're watching Paige take her risk, which is not being with possibly someone that like might be the greatest guy she ever meets. Mm-hmm. I don't think it will be, but like
a great love, nonetheless.
And someone that like, say she does even find a greater love, he might cheat on her. And you know who wouldn't have? Craig. Like, there's a million things that she is saying, I'm going to risk it all because I think I might be able to find an equally as great, if not better, suitor who is also on my same timeline. And it's like, these are both risks, and how we were able to get behind his so much because of how great she was. Suddenly, no one is trusting the risk that she's taking.
Totally.
And I just think it was just kind of like to me to think of like we didn't like Paige because she was so nice and this and that. We liked her because of the brain that she had and the way that she fucking spit her game,
And
left,
spoke up
right,
for
and
herself
center,
and did
spoke
what she
up, and
wanted to
everyone
do.
called a spade, and now all these women across America have decided that like, I don't think you know what you're talking. Let me tell you what you should do though, because you are gonna regret this. We threw out everything that we loved about this person to tell her what to do. And I just think
I didn't know any of this was happening until I listened to the episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much is like how bad it actually is because I didn't go like fishing for information or looking in comments. What I can say is she was very clear in that episode. And she said, I did what was right for me. Nobody cheated on, seemingly, from what we know.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Nobody cheated on anybody. They weren't mean to each other. They didn't verbally abusive. They weren't tearing each other down. So if a grown adult is saying, I did what, listen, was it hard? Am I heartbroken? Do I love this person very much? Absolutely. But I did what was right for me. Then we have to trust that that's the truth and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like what people don't understand, and I'm the biggest fucking romantic on the planet. Love is not enough to sustain a relationship.
Yeah.
You have to have the same goals. You have to be in alignment. You have to be having at least a similar timeline, maybe not the exact same, but like maybe you're not on the same page, but you're in the same chapter. They're in different libraries at this point.
Yeah.
Even though they were such a great, fun couple and we loved them and we wanted to see the TV wedding or whatever the fuck we wanted to see. If they're not in alignment, it's not going to work no matter how great he is, how great she is. It's like you could have two really great ingredients and you put chocolate and cheese are, I guess someone could say fondue. I don't no. Chocolate and cheese are two great things, but you put them together and they're fucking disgusting. Okay.
Nobody does fondue chocolate and cheese.
I feel like I've seen someone do something strange like that, but you understand my point. Okay. And so.
It's disturbing.
Okay. My point is you could have two great people, two great ingredients. Just because you put them together doesn't mean they're going to make a fucking great relationship, a great dish. They had a great run. Trust this girl. She's never not been forthright.
Yeah.
And we think she's smart. So let her do what's right for her.
Yeah. Don't let the one time you ever think she's not smart is because she chose not to make a lifelong commitment with someone today that she wasn't 1,000% sure about.
And yes, we get that Craig said he was surprised. Breakups can be shocking because it does seem like they were happy. They didn't break up because they had no sex life. They didn't break up because he didn't make her laugh or vice versa. They didn't break up because they don't travel well together.
Yeah.
They don't like each other's families. It's because they're probably because their timelines were off. I also do think, I stand by this, and I said this last week. She had made a comment once that, I'm raising Craig. And I do think there was a little bit of Craig's not as refined as Paige is. He's still a little learning to be the guy. Like you couldn't take him to a fancy dinner and think like he's going to use like the, small cocktail fork to like eat a steak or like talk about how pandas are like a conspiracy by the Chinese or whatever his weird conspiracy theories are. The moon's made of cheese. It's funny in the beginning, whatever, but it's like, no, I want an adult partner.
Let me throw my piece in, then you both can be like, oh yeah, you're right. I never thought about that.
I thought about it, I'm sure.
This was never going to last. This was fun. I think they both fell in love and had a good time, and it was a great love. Like you said, Paige was never going to marry this dude. Ever. Like, and I didn't even know the thing about walk through life like a man. That's pretty good advice from a mom, I think, to a daughter. If you're told to walk through life like a man and it works, like you're like, got it, mom, and you murder that advice, your partner is going to be the manliest man, like, and whatever that means to whoever. Your partner's not going to be Craig. Sorry.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
For the record.
No, I know. But like, I don't think this is a recent realization for her. She's known this from the jump. And it's only gotten better. Like, Craig has only gotten better. Craig has only gotten more manly. Craig has only gotten more responsible and more refined and more rich. He's only gotten better. In the beginning, she was like, oh, he's got a big dick. He's super fun. I like Charleston. I can go down another TV show. Like, I'm not saying she's
No,
selfish
I
like
get
that.
what
But
you're
like,
saying, though. Well, you're just having fun.
Paige never, ever, maybe a couple times on a good weekend, thought like, well, maybe Paige was never going to marry this dude. Never going to spend her life with this dude. He's a goofy. He's too goofy. Paige DeSorbo is not marrying this goofy guy. And like I said, I'm a Craig fan now. I am on Team Craig. I didn't used to be. I am now. He's gotten better, and she's bailed. Like, this was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. It was cool to see it. It's a Lifetime movie. The city girl who's feisty, New Jersey, loudmouth, and the sweet little Southern boy. Like, and that's why everybody's on Craig's team and not her team, because now you got to pick a team. And if it was a Southern girl and a New York guy, and the New York guy was like smart and a financial wizard and did for 3 years of like getting this girl off the ground and got her business going and the whole deal. And like now she's making it because of this financier whiz in New York City. And they broke up because he just didn't want to move to Charleston. People would be like, fuck you, dude, this poor girl. It's not a Craig Paige thing. It's a who's the sweet one versus the one who had to make the tough decision, and they're on Team Sweet Guy.
Yeah, she mentioned something about like the boy moms. Oh, the boy moms are insufferable, you know, because so many moms just want their sons to have everything that they want, and I think they also think like, what kind of damage could this do to my son if he doesn't get exactly what he wants the moment that he wants it? I mean, you've talked about this for years, like your fascination by like the entitlement of a man who just like wakes up one morning and goes, yep, I think it's time to get married today. You ready? No, not exactly. What?
Okay, no problem. I'll just then find someone else who is.
Yeah. Also, we'll badger you like Leo in Love Is Blind.
Yeah,
where Leo
yeah.
was like, I'm sorry, what? Hannah. Like, just like really. And he, to this day, looks back and goes, my worst moment of my life. I'll never get over how mortifying that was to watch back. But these guys, in that moment, they see red. Like
I had this with my mom. Something had happened in like pop culture, and my mom was taking the side of the dude who I felt. And I'm not a dude hater or any of this shit, but in my opinion, the dude was categorically a shithead.
Yeah.
And Shane had asked my mom, he's like, well, what do you think about this person? I was like, hold on one second. I'm like, can I tell you what I think she thinks? And Mom, you can tell me if I'm accurate. And my mom said, yeah, sure, no problem. I go, she thinks that this guy has probably not always been the coolest in the room, but like he worked so hard and he came up, and like even if he did do this thing that people are saying he did, it was so long ago that it doesn't even matter because he's just always been kind of like the underdog, but now he's really made it and we just need to support him. And when she looks at him, she sees my brother.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, am I right? And my mom said, absolutely. And I was like, I rest my case, Your Honor. No further witnesses.
Yeah.
And I do think
That's
that
a boy
what
mom. Your mom's
she's
a boy.
talking about is that kind of boy mom. And God bless my mom. She loves my brother so much.
It only comes from like gut-wrenching love. Like just like wanting so much for this person that you might be the only woman in the world who sees who they really are. And if she could just see it too, it would be so worth it. I promise you, it's going to be amazing. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure he will be amazing for someone. It's just not me. And that's how most of it works. 99% of the people on this earth are not for me.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not like I'm singling him out as the one guy I won't marry. Like,
I think though the people who are upset are probably a little more on my side of the fence, that deep down they're not mad that Paige doesn't want to be with Craig now. I think they're mad that they knew Paige never wanted to be with Craig forever. So why, if this was the outcome, you knew this is the outcome, why?
But see, I don't agree
Why
with
only
I
to
don't
do
either.
this?
I don't
Haven't you
agree.
ever dated someone that, yes, maybe you guys were super different and people would be like, wow, really? These two, whatever, you know, odd
Yeah, us.
couple, you and Nat, but you fell in love with this person and love does make you think that you can conquer anything, that you can. I think she was very aware that they were super different, and maybe she historically has dated like the last guy that wasn't really on Summer House. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? His name's not Terry, but I always want to call him Terry.
I know
He was
who
like
you're
some
talking
like
about.
New York finance or real estate
Yeah.
guy, and definitely was not the right guy for her, but
Yeah.
maybe visually and what he did in the world kind of like fit the mold of what people maybe assumed she would be with or
Yeah.
should be with. And he clearly was not right for her. And then all of a sudden Craig comes along and he's so different, but he makes her laugh. And Napoleon said it, a woman laughing is a woman conquered. And I really do think
Yeah, that's
that
the thing. You can
he-
make them laugh. You can make them breakfast.
I really do think that Craig made her laugh and they had such a good time together. And I'm sure they had really good sexual chemistry. And so I think there was this major part of her that not only did she fall in love with him, but she was just like, okay, maybe my life is going to be different than I thought. And let me explore this. And then I think she probably got to the point where it's like, instead of trying to make this dog a cat, just go get a cat. Like, so many people think that they want a dog when really what they want is a cat because they don't realize how much work a dog is. And I feel like people do the same things in relationships. So many people think they, want a certain thing, and then they realize like, oh, maybe that's not right for me. So I'm just going to go get what is right for me. And I don't think she thought that the entire time.
Yeah, and now I'm rethinking my good advice to tell your daughter that she should walk through life like a man, because maybe Paige is too manly, too not manly, but too. I don't mean like, oh, she's too manly for like too masculine now.
No,
Right, but we had to finance real estate. That guy was fine. Like, he wasn't on the show all the time, but I remember he would pop in and out, and they would do the phone calls. Like,
He was a little
fine.
too controlling for
The
me.
Italian, come on, that guy was fucking amazing and so fucking sick. Like, so good
What were you gonna
looking.
say?
I was gonna say
Sexy.
sexy.
He
But
was
like,
Andrea.
I
Sexy.
think Paige is just having a good time. I don't think Paige really wants to. I think Paige doesn't maybe know this, but I don't know if she wants to get married and have kids. And
Maybe she
fucking do all
doesn't,
that.
but I don't
Which is
think
fine,
she's
that's
getting into
totally
a
fine.
relationship with someone knowing that she's going to break their heart because she doesn't want this and she's withholding that information. I think she is discovering herself through each relationship, and maybe she will get to the place of like, actually, I don't want kids or I don't want to get married. I don't think she knows those things yet because she seems to be a pretty aware, structured person that knows who she is, and when she doesn't, I don't think it's
Right, but one of those
Her
things that
lying
she
to us.
knows is she's focused on her career and her job. Like, is she knows that marriage is not a focus.
But
But she
that
does know that.
But you just said that she doesn't want to be in a relationship or doesn't want to get married or something like that. I
No.
don't think that
Yeah, I don't think that either. She doesn't want to live in Charleston. She doesn't want to marry a guy who wants to live in Charleston. She knows that he will come to New York, but it's been a fight. I think a lot of people are confused because the last few interviews he has given, he has been really like going out of his way to bring up that he actually would really like to stay in New York. He actually likes New York. He loves the challenges. He likes the energy. His business is taking him here, there, and everywhere. I think that what you had said about like he's going to go full court press, like that's what I think has been happening because he has, even if he was so shocked when this happened, I'm sure he was or believes that he was, but,
Yes, but
knows in
subconsciously he
has-
knew something was
'cause,
happening.
Yeah, you don't say all those things in all those interviews just right in the last month, right before you get fucking completely broken up with out of nowhere. Like,
But that's why he did that. That's what I was saying. Like, he knew what was coming, and he knew, like, they had this conversation for 3 years. He
Right.
knew they weren't getting married. He knew she wasn't coming. He knew
No.
he wasn't
I don't
going
know if
there.
any guy
he
ever
knew
knows
all of
that
that,
they're
and
not
so
gonna, that she's
I mean,
not
listen.
saying yes.
He might have hoped for it, but I think he knew it, and I think that's, like I said, I don't know if it was in a ill-fated episode that will never see the light of day, but he did that whole press tour, whatever, full court press of like, oh, we're getting married, we're having kids, we got a plan, it's happening, I'm moving to New York because he needed to lay down the gauntlet, and maybe she says, all right, dude, I'm in, but
Well,
we
you
all
know
knew what she
It's
was
not the
going to
wrong
say.
move.
Not at all.
If what you're saying is true and that she does want a guy who's in control and who's going to call shots and who isn't like, oh, I don't know, what should I do? Like, then that was the last Hail Mary move to see like, I can be this guy, and she still wasn't into it. But she still does say that her past relationships could be like summed up in the word of just straight chaos, that she was very chaos driven, and Craig is not like that at all.
Talk into your microphone.
She might actually have it all. Craig has shown her that there can be a chaos-free-ish way of life, and she'll find that perfect person for her. I think if anyone can, it will be her.
And by the way, I hope Craig finds the perfect person for him.
Totally.
They're two really great people that clearly could not make a match. That's it.
Yeah, but I think that like some people can go off on their own for a bit and realize what they have in each other and find their way back. It's a long shot, but it's not impossible.
If I were betting, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't, but like to some credit of what you say, very teens amount of credit to what you say. Maybe the guy that she wants, maybe she's not the girl that guy wants,
right.
You know, like might be too machismos, like just too much. Like, and so she, like, there could be a something that happens that makes her realize, like, he was really good to me. He was really special.
Or like you said, you're gonna have to deal with somebody's shit.
Yeah.
So whose shit do you like the best? So she could go out into the world and realize like, oh, maybe it's not the biggest deal that he's not so worldly. Maybe it's not the biggest deal that he thinks the moon is made of cheese. Like, I love all these other things about him, and that means far more to me than the polish that maybe she's craving from someone else. But
yeah, this might be the kind of breakup that either makes him go two ways. He could totally just like marry Molly or like some type who's just going to be like, wants to do all the things, live in Charleston. There's going to be a bajillion girls lined up around the corner waiting. Like he's Charleston's most eligible bachelor.
100%.
I
should be the bachelor.
This relationship might have caused him to grow out of Charleston, and that might be something that takes him elsewhere and brings.
I don't think so. I think Craig loves
listen,
Charleston. That's just me.
He might be so mad at Charleston right now because he might see that as that was what broke up my relationship. Like, I don't know. This is a big loss for him, and people react all different kinds of ways in a big loss. They can make very dramatic changes because like they just don't. They want to identify with something else. And sometimes that want to is enough to actually find yourself.
Well, here's what I will say.
It.
We're going to get some piece of information, whether they talk about it or not, because one, there's reunions, but also there's that clip from Summer House. And this was before they broke up.
Yeah.
Where she was crying in bed saying like, and Craig and I are going to break up and that's going to be the worst or whatever. So clearly we're going to get some insight into what is going on.
Yeah. And it could also just be as simple as she just grew out of him. They had their day in the sun and it has passed.
You better not. Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Send all your money to
Spencer Pratt.
Yeah. No, they're doing all right. They're making a lot of money. I'm sure somebody else needs some money.
Listen, Spencer's whole thing is, I love how before this I was just some D-list celebrity, some broke ass loser, and now suddenly I'm just some rich celebrity who lost this thing and who gives a shit. He's like, I'm hoping at least when you Google me that will now come up that I'm this big fancy rich celebrity.
That's funny.
I know. I love Spencer.
He's the best.
I really do love that guy.
Yeah, he's super
Good luck to you, Spence. Spidey, hope you guys and the kids are doing all right.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Mike, I think you got our tagline.
Thanks.
What was it? What did,
Something about deep dives and no depth.
that's it. That's literally the tagline.
Yeah, it's
That
been
is
like our point
so
of
good.
contention about this whole thing is like, yeah, we're not going to stop doing the deep dives, but I hate myself for deep diving a show that literally had nothing happen. How did we recap for 90 minutes a 42-minute show that nothing happened in? Like,
Because that's how good we are. Guys, I got a text message.
it's back.
10 of them. Love you.
Love you. Bye.